5 a.m.
Santa head ball, like that. Swear to God, I don't know why JT calls this the Indiana dumping pump. Actually, I kind of do know why he calls it that, but it's not what I call it. Pretty good name, though. Come here. Come here. He came up and got it, dude. Not a giant, but that's why you kind of pop it back up to the mat right there and make sure you're keeping him honest. Welcome to Mikey Balls Fishing, bros and broettes. We are going to do my absolute favoriteest thing. Got any guesses? We're gonna do some of that flippity dickety dock stuff. Summer, grass, thick cover, not a bunch of bites, not a bunch of fish, but dude, when you get one, it's freaking one-on-one, close combat, braid squealing, rod bending, heavy action. Just, it's better than an action movie from the 90s. Better than Steven Seagal, and that takes a lot. To all my Florida boys, do you guys even remember what this stuff is? That's a better one. Come on out of there, friend. And into the boat. How about that? Big. Flippity dickety dock. Yeah, might caught a bass. Yeah, come on. Let's get a release. This water is so clear. See you later. Go do your thing. Go do your thing. But you can see behind me, there's a massive collection of eelgrass mixed with hydrilla, mixed with goo, mixed with whatever you want to put in your witch's soup kind of deal. And all we're doing is there's a small creek channel that runs next to it, a little bit deeper water, and it creates this edge. And a lot of this stuff is about finding that hard edge. Isolated, hard to find objects or edges are really the key to this flipping bite. You get that hard edge and there's a canopy right under it. It's all open water. And I'm just plunking my stinger right through there. And dude, when they bite it, it feels so good. Come on in there. Got you. Look at that clear water. Oh, poop. Well, it's all in the clear water, right? Look at all this garbage. I love this stuff. Hydro! Oh, and one darted out too. Right at the top. Got you. Sorry, bud, had to do surgery. See that? How it kicks the hook? That's the whole alchemy of the snell hook and the straight shank. Oh my God! Did you see that? That was a 4-pound bass. So if your deck doesn't look like this when you're flipping and pitching, you're not trying hard enough. Things should be an absolute grass mess, dude. So real quick, what kind of setup are we using right here? You've seen it in other videos, so I'll be pretty brief about it. But basically, you have a 1.5 ounce tungsten. I got double bobber stoppers. That is a Hack Attack hook snelled on there, so the hook actually kicks up. So basically, you don't need to like really put the hammer to these fish. In reality, I'm using a Halo TI 7'9" heavy action rod. In reality, all I got to do is kind of lift, and you'll see that in some of the fish catches. But 80-pound braid,
Usually, so this is Samurai Braid, it's Daiwa. I'll put links to all this stuff down in the description box. It's a little quieter, and I like it for these pressure lakes, or you can't really tell because there's a little bit of cloud cover. This water is super duper clear, and I like a little quieter approach. If I was using Power Pro, I'd go down to 65 just for a little lower diameter, a little more manageability. But it's a pretty straightforward presentation. I try not to use fluorocarbon. You can, and I will tell you, you'll get more bites. You'll also lose more fish. So it's sort of balancing either way. Plus, I absolutely love that braid squeal. Reel-wise, you know, you need something that's decent. You're going to end up spending $200, $300. You can't cheap buy with this because it is such a high impact style of fishing. You'd want to make sure it's a little faster reel. 721. I'll be honest with you, if I wasn't being so cheap right now, I'd probably have an 821, some kind of Shimano, like upper end Shimano, because what it does is two things. It makes you more efficient. You get the bait back. You're able to make more drops, and this is all about number of drops. It's a statistics game. The other thing is, a lot of times these fish will bite it and they'll run out of the mat, so it allows you to reel up that line so you can catch up to them just fast enough, because these fish will dart, dude. They will just jet out of these mats.
Whoa. Oh dear. Oh no, did he come off? He's still on there. I can't even do that. Oh yeah, you are. Oh my God. Dude, man. Oh, he just pooped all over my boat. That's another 5-pounder, boys. Oh, wasn't pretty, but we got her done, didn't we? You notice what I did right there when I couldn't get him out? How about that, dude? When I couldn't get him out, what you do is you point and pull. What a beautiful fish. That right there is a prime example of one of those fish you never feel. Let me show you what he was in, because this is a perfect example of what you're looking for. So you see, you got all this hydrilla, there's some junk mats, you can see right where he came out. But what happens is this is all open water, and then you get this wall of hydrilla and you have this sort of isolated dome. But what happened is literally he ate it as it went down. I never felt a bite. I went to reel up and there was this weird tension, and you'll learn it as you kind of go through the process with this technique. But dude, I'm like, that's a fish, oh God. And like, I'm way up here, but that's why I use the longer rod too. It gives you a little extra leverage if you're not in the best position to set the hook. Let's get this thing released though. We got to get him back quick because the water's really warm. Dude, what a beauty. Look how fat that thing is. All right, get back down in that grass where you belong. That's what we like to see. Swimming on back, right where you live. Dabs, boys. So we got this mat in front of us, right? I got my Stinger on. I basically switched between a Stinger, a BB Cricket, and an Credit Craw. And the edge is pretty hard, so all I'm doing is I'm looking for two things, little points and turns, but I'm also looking where I can get through. Some of this stuff is super duper thick, so you almost have to pick your target like way back there, super thick, probably can't get through unless I pitch it way up in the air. Here's a nice little point corner with some hydrilla. I went straight through nice and clean. You pitch in, you let your bait kind of fall through. Sometimes you gotta give it a little pop to get through. Your initial bite is usually gonna come on that drop, but I'll always do a lift or two. And if I do miss a bite, what I usually do is I try to pitch it in as soon as I can by resetting the bait or whatever, get it back in there, and then what I'll do is I'll lift it right to the top of the mat. That fish is usually still pretty active, and they're usually up in the water column. They're more active and they're more towards the top. So I try to keep it above them because fish tend to look up too. Splashing is something that you're gonna do. It's a big weight, so it's gonna splash when it goes in. And sometimes, in all reality, you gotta do something like this where you take this bait and you go woo with the sound effect. And that's the only way you'll actually get through the mat, is by pitching it way up in the air and kind of bulleting it down. Bites are usually, one, they're like a thunk, so you feel like a big old tunk on the end of your weight. Two, the reason I like this rod is it's got some tip play in it, even though it's a pretty stiff rod. And sometimes these fish will just hold on to it. You'll go to reel down and your rod will just start bending over and you think you're hung on grass and it's actually a fish. And that's why, especially for this mat stuff, I like a little longer rod, 7.9, 7.10, 7.11. You pick up the bites that you miss using the rod because it loads up. And then the other thing too is it gives you leverage without pulling the hook out of the fish. You know, that softer tip, you can pin them in the mat and go get them instead of trying to drag them out and actually, you know, pulling the hook out, and then all is for naught because you're not going to get a lot of bites doing this. We get ourselves a new bait here. I got all my flipping stuff. This is how much flipping I do. This is a flipping box and that's a flipping box. Got my gambler stuff in here and then the culprits and then some sneaky beaver stuff in here. But we actually switched up to my other kind of, I don't know, my go-to, dude. It's a BB Cricket. I actually don't think they make this color anymore. It's kind of like a June bug with some brown in it. Ironically, it's really good for clear water, even though you think it'd be a dark water color. It's super streamlined. One of the reasons I like to go to the Cricket is to get through some stuff I can't get through. It also works for downsizing when I'm having a tough time getting bit, or they're swiping at the bait and not actually getting it. I'm missing a lot of fish. But one of the highlights, though, is when the stuff gets super duper thick. You'd think go with heavier weight or make some kind of tweak like that, but downsizing your bait makes a huge difference when you're in the super thick stuff. That's her, boys. That's her. Come here. Dude, you're never gonna believe how I caught this fish. Dude, this fish bit and I missed him. I took my BB Cricket because it had grabbed it and not gotten the claws and ripped the claws off. I took my BB Cricket with no claws and freaking bada boom, baby, bada boom. I think the Thursday night shootout is in full effect because we just had about 20 boats go by us. We're gonna wrap this video up in exactly how a fishing video should be wrapped up, with a stud, dude. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh yeah. Come here. You're worse than Bog, man. Dude, how about it, boys? Let's get this thing back. There you go. See, dude, look at the shoulders. Hit that like and subscribe button for me. Support Grassroots Fishing. We will see you back out on the water or talking fishing. Tight lines, boys.